that there's no country that has ever developed in the whole world without manufacturing. China was a poorer country than Kenya about 40 years ago until the day it pivoted to manufacturing. Singapore was poorer than Kenya 60 years ago until it went to manufacturing. It is now 50 times more richer than Kenya. China is now 6 times richer than Kenya, notwithstanding having 1.4 billion people. So therefore, for us as a county, we believe that to move forward, we must pivot to manufacturing. And therefore, we decided to organize this event on Friday and Saturday, 13th and 14th of June, to attract manufacturers to come and put their industries in Murang'a. We do have land that we are offering to manufacturers, particularly those who do agro-processing, and that is what we shall be showcasing on Friday and on Saturday at Vika Greens in Murang'a.
Who are you expecting, Governor?
Many people, but particularly people in manufacturing sector. We have partnered with Kenya Association of Manufacturers Camps, with Kenya Private Alliance, and various companies that do manufacturing. Because we believe that if we achieve this, several things will happen. Number one, jobs creation. Young people will get jobs there. Because if we had decided to give out that land to individuals to put up, let's say, residential, how many jobs do residential houses create? Very few. Maybe the house manager, maybe the watchman, which, by the way, these days people come together and have just one watchman for a whole estate. But if you take 1 acre of land, you turn it to a manufacturing center, it creates about 100 jobs. So Murang'a has about, let's say, just one single piece of land near Del Monte is 1,300. That means potentially, if you multiply by 100 persons who can be employed per acre, that's almost 100,000 people who will get jobs. Yeah. Those are direct jobs.
Tell me, Governor, is it just local investors, or are you going to attract investors from outside the country?
Everywhere. We sent a team to United States of America. That was the Deputy Governor and also the Speaker of the Assembly of Murang'a, Mr. Mukuha, to lure people from America. Particularly in America, we are targeting people interested in healthcare. Let's say you want to manufacture medicine, such, or even put up nursing homes, because we have a master plan that has demarcated part of that land into a medicity. But myself, I'm planning to go to China. We want to take advantage of the current tiff between China and America. China currently has an overcapacity of manufacturing sector. It is the leading manufacturing base in the world. But because of the tariffs which are being put up by America, the largest market in the world, that is now incentivizing Chinese manufacturing to move out of China and come and set up base here in Africa. And Murang'a therefore wants to position itself as the premier choice for manufacturers. Apart from jobs, we also aim to value add various commodities that we produce in our farms. That includes things like avocado. Murang'a is #1 exporter of avocado in the country. We are #2 in coffee. We are #1 in small-scale tea production, and many more. Yeah, our maize production has been doubled because of some of the interventions that the county has done. So therefore, we think now next plan is now to enter into value addition and the whole rationale of this conference.
Okay, so at the same time, Murang'a has been voted one of the best performing counties. What is it? Because other counties always complain there's no money, always going to the central government to say, send us more money. What is the difference in Murang'a?
Okay, let me start in saying personally, I believe every county in this country is doing its best to serve its people And I wouldn't want to say that we feel superior or better than any other county. And we also believe that some of the interventions we are doing, we have taken those ideas from other places. And therefore, I believe that every county is doing something to its citizenry. Be that as it may. As to the money we get, definitely there is a part that comes from the increment of own source revenue. I say so because when we came into power, Murang'a used to collect annually about 500 million in own source revenue. Now we are at about 1.3, 1.4 billion per annum. However, problem persists. There are many pressures from various quarters in terms of requests for spending. There are more roads to be done. Of course, several departments want us to employ more employees. So the pressures for the little that we have are too huge. And this conference gives us an opportunity for us to increase our own source revenue without necessity of asking the current taxpayers to pay more. Why? Because the new industrialists will come and pay single business permit. They will pay us a stand premium. They will pay us maybe an annual rent. So all that will be an extra income beyond our traditional revenue streams.
But what will, if I'm an investor, what will be my incentive to come to Murang'a?
First, we are near Thika and Nairobi markets. From the boundary of Nairobi to Murang'a, the first boundary, it's about 20 minutes. That's KU to Blue Post. Secondly, good infrastructure, good educated workforce. But most importantly, we have some lands that we are offering to the people who may want to do value addition. There's a law that is currently pending, a bill that is currently pending before Murang'a County Assembly that wants to clearly denote the incentives that we shall give out to the investor. That include a one-stop shop for approval and licensing for industrialists. And we hope it goes through so that we create better incentives for people who want to invest in Murang'a.
Okay, Governor, let's switch gears here and let's talk bursaries in Newa Masoma program. Tell us more about that.
Okay, there has been a small misunderstanding between various organs of government.
Yeah.
You remember there was a circular that was issued barring counties from giving out bursaries. The argument was that education is not devolved at high school level, and therefore through that bursary, through that circular, in one swoop, all counties in the entire country stopped issuing bursary. That was negative because now several students were sent home, including Murang'a. Murang'a has about 50,000 students who depend on its bursary. And we had to maneuver around, and about 1-2 weeks ago, we succeeded. We entered into what we call intergovernmental partnership agreement, which then unlocked that bursary. And today, we were giving out that bursary. And for us, we believe we do not have a child who belongs to the national government or the county. All children of Kenya are Kenyan children who deserve support. Secondly, education is so important that I believe both levels of government should do their best to support Kenyan children to go to school without much problems. So now, in Newa Masoma, the way it is structured is that we support children who go to day schools, who achieve a certain threshold of marks, whether in Form 2, Form 3, Form 4, we pay full fees, so they don't pay a single coin. And today we were going there to support them. And we can only thank those who helped us unlock that stalemate which had caused so many children not to go to school, not only in Murang'a, the entire country.
Where are you getting the money from?
It is part of our budget. Yeah, it is part of our budget. And I know other counties, by the way, that have similar programs, including my friend in Mandera County, which pays for all the children there. So therefore, for me, I really urge our stakeholders to support whichever level of government wants to support children to go to school.
It seemed like you had a beef, for lack of a better word, with the controller of budget. Has that beef been resolved?
Yes. Let me say, I really do not have any problem now with the control of budget. It was a small, how do I put it, interpretation of the law. It is the control budget who had interpreted the law that bursary should not be given to counties. And we held a contrary view that bursary is not really about supporting high school education. It's about welfare, which then means counties can proceed to support children. And there was also a court order that was being relied upon. We went to court, we sought a clarification of the court order, and the court agreed with us that court order was not affecting children this financial year. And that formed the basis upon which control budget agreed to okay the money to Murang'a. However, let me say the control budget is a good office. She's a very diligent lady, and we are very happy with her work, and we shall continue working together. And it was right on her part to give that opinion, and it's also good that the court in Nakuru made the right decision, because we believe that education is the key.
Yeah.
Yes.
We don't expect you to say anything less. We didn't expect you to say anything negative against the controller budget.
Well, for me, it's neither here or there. It's just talking the truth. And for us, we want a harmonious working relationship with the control budget, with the national governments, because it's not about competition. It's about helping those who are vulnerable. Yes.
Governor, the High Court decision on the Road Maintenance Levy Fund must be a welcome relief to you and other governors.
Yes, because you see what the High Court stated is that Parliament cannot exclude counties from accessing a road levy maintenance fund, and therefore it declares certain sections of that law that was passed by the National Assembly as being unconstitutional. However, there's a small catch. Parliament retains the power to appropriate. So there is every likelihood, despite us winning, the National Assembly can refuse to appropriate. The effect of that is that everyone loses. And for me, I would propose the Council of Governors to have a sit down with the leadership of the National Assembly for a discussion, because it's not really about who controls which funds. It's about the roads of Kenyan people. A few days ago, or rather the last 2-3 months, there has been heavy rains. We need to make those roads. Without that money, Kenyans will continue suffering poor roads. So we really need a working relationship between National Assembly and our body. Yeah.
At the same time, how is the housing levy going, an affordable housing going in Murang'a County?
Okay, the national government approached us, and they told us that they want us to give them property. And we are glad we gave them several pieces of land. And in fact, this land that I'm referring to, which forms the prime property that we shall be giving out to manufacturers at a place called Mackenzie near Del Monte, Thika. Part of it, we gave it to national government to put up affordable housing, and the construction is ongoing. And for us, we think it's a positive thing, because it's it's a win-win situation in terms of the national government does what it wants to do on part of that land, and therefore there is some activity already on that land. And for us, whenever we get a request that we see is reasonable from whichever body, we grant. I recall there was also another request that that the national government wants to establish an export processing zone on that land. And we ceded 500 acres to EPZ. And currently I see we are at about 50-60% towards completion of export processing zone on that land. And for me, that's also very positive, because those factories that will put a business in Murang'a, they'll create employment, they will pivot Murang'a into an industrial hub. And for us, we think that's very important. Jeff, I can tell you for free is that we Kenyans, including myself, we love politics. But I can tell you, 50 years from now, no one will be remembering what I'm speaking currently about, or rather what politics were today. They'll be looking at that factory that was established in Murang'a, that road that was done in Murang'a, that hospital that was done in Murang'a. And therefore, I would really urge us Kenyans that we focus more on development, because it is the moral thing to do. It is very ashamed that countries that were poorer than Kenya are now so many times richer than Kenya. And it means our forefathers who are leading this country probably did not make the strategic decisions to industrialize this country then. And it is upon us, the current generation of leaders, to refocus our country, particularly to making the correct decision. And further to that, by the way, Kenya and Africa population is becoming more and more youthful. We will not create enough jobs for that youthful cohort. And that then will definitely lead to what happened last year, the Gen Z fights.
Yes.
So therefore, I think we have a moral duty to create employment, and nothing creates jobs like industries and factories.
Tell me something, Governor. You're trying to position Murang'a as Nairobi's bedroom and take over from Kiambu. Is that what you're trying to do?
No, I don't want Murang'a to be bedroom. I want Murang'a to be industrial center, not people to sleep, people to work. So therefore, if you're talking of position Murang'a as the next industrial area, yes, yeah. If you are talking of Murang'a becoming Vika number 2, yes, yeah. So for us, it's more about factories and industries, as opposed to places where people can just come in, rest their head, which is good. I'm not saying resting is bad, but we think that once you create industries, Murang'a people outside those zones will create places for other people to sleep. So it'll be a win-win. I'll give you an example of a place like, let's say, Kitengela. Kitengela economy is purely under the hands of EPZA. So the same rationale. If you position ourselves as an industrial hub, our locals then will just put our flats to accommodate that huge population that will be in those factories. Yes.
Tell me something, Governor. On another note, is Murang'a ready to take up UHC workers?
Yes, we have no problem at all. In fact, we need them. But they say money follows functions. If you decide to devolve people, also ensure you also send money. I say so because like many other counties, I think all counties, we have a wage problem. We expend almost half of our budget. That's about 50% to pay 5,000 county employees. Yeah, and there has been a push that we send some staff home, but we refuse because we think it's immoral to send somebody home who has a family. But now to circumvent that, we have to think of ways of increasing our income as a county so that that percent shrinks. And the whole rationale of this investment conference, it will give us an extra stream of income, which then gives us a leverage, for instance, to employ or even absorb the UHC staff. But the best case scenario is where the national government send UHC staff together with the money that they used to pay them here in Nairobi.
Yeah.
Yes.
You, or no, not you yourself, but your county is going around giving pregnant women money. What is that about?
No. Let me clarify. Yeah. There was a rumor out there that we were giving money to incentivize women to get more children. That is not true. You know, we know the choice of a size of a family is not determined by a governor. It is determined by the couple, particularly the woman. You remember in the Bible, in the book of Genesis, God says, go fill up the world, but ensure you manage it. And therefore, I have no way to control the size of a family. In fact, Murang'a has some of the lowest fertility rates. On average, one woman in Murang'a gets only 2 children. And I can't reverse that. Factors causing women to choose fewer children are beyond me. They include urbanization, women getting more educated. So it's a universal trend which I cannot reverse by giving tokens. However, by the time we were coming into government, we realized that Murang'a has a huge problem of maternal mortality rate. Women passing on when they are getting children. So we did a research to ask women, what is the cause? We realized that women were failing to go to the nearest health center to get children on the basis of lack of transport. So that's where the idea came in. What if we incentivize them, giving them a small token once they agree to come to a facility, a medical facility to deliver, under the care of an educated caregiver, a nurse. But then we realized there were some gaps in the system that we were using. So we recasted that idea into what we now say we give them mama kits. If you, as a pregnant woman, reach a threshold of 6 antenatal visits. Antenatal means you come and visit a nurse 6 times before you deliver. Why? One, that helps us to, if we detect a problem, we help you. Yeah. For instance, God forbid, if we realize a mother has HIV, there are some drugs that are given to ensure you don't then transmit that to your little baby in your belly. But if you come late, we can't intervene. So we have that program that gives mama kit for those women who reach that threshold of coming to 6 antenatal visits. We give them once per year, and we hope by doing so, we shall reduce what we call maternal mortality rates. Yeah.
All right. People have been talking about 2027, which is about 2 years away, Governor, and your name is being touted out there as running for the top office. What are your thoughts?
No, I'm not. That's not my plan.
Come on, don't be shy.
No, it is the truth. It is the truth. There are many people who have offered themselves to become the president, and I wish them well. So for me, it is not my focus. It really is not my focus. I can tell you, don't count me. Yes. Yeah.